Can you hear me? Is that okay? Is that better? I think I might have been muted by accident because one of my alarms went off. Okay, great. So I'm saying let's talk about clones. Let's talk about the Jim Carrey frenzy that's going on right now. So yeah, when you check my Anchorhaven Origins playlist, you'll notice there's quite a lot of things, references to me and clones. So I thought, let's have a look at it. Let's get down into it and see what everybody thinks and why people think that he is a clone. And then I will give my opinion as somebody who's tuned into things like that, and as there's versions of me off planet that specialize in that kind of science. So so I have been looking at some of the photos, and I did see a clip when he was speaking, and that kind of thing. So the photos don't worry me that much. Hi, Mahara. So we're talking about clones. We're talking about the possibility that people think that Jim Carrey is a clone. Okay, and you've seen the pictures. Okay, has everybody seen the voice clip of him talking as well? Yeah, so I'm going to put some pictures on my background in a second so we can have a look. So when I'm looking at clones, generally I'm identifying clones because of the symmetry. Yeah, because that person looks so perfect. So when it's a good quality clone, you shouldn't be able to tell that it's not that person. Hi, Virgo Blue. Now, when it's a poor quality clone, when it's a copy of a copy of a copy, then yes, there will be glitches, there will be things that are wrong. But just because it looks like him doesn't mean it even is him. For a start, it might not even be his soul. It could just be a body. But I actually believe that is Jim Carrey. I don't believe he's a clone. And I'll tell you why. Let me just put my background on, see if I can get some pictures of him. Okay, that's not a great picture. No, I'm trying to get one who fits on the screen. Okay, so this one here, you can see, no, he hasn't had plastic surgery. He hasn't. And when you look at the width of the nose, it is actually still him. The nose itself is slightly larger, but that happens as you get older. When you look at the lips and everything, that's still him. The jaw, slight difference in the jaw, but that can happen just because of lymphatic drainage and things like that, right? Some people have tried to say that the ears look different or that they're in a different position, but they look fine to me. I do not believe that this is a clone. I believe that this is Jim Carrey, but I believe that Jim Carrey is he's doing a bit of a bit. Right? He's a master of disguise. He is gone publicly on record on the night show saying that we don't even know who Jim Carrey is, that Jim Carrey himself is a character of his imagination, right? So he is a master of disguise. A lot of people think that he was used to play Joe Biden and stuff like that. So we know he's a master of disguise, but is this a clone on the side there? No, I don't think it is. I think the eye color is the same, the eye shape is pretty much the same. The lines on the forehead are pretty much the same. Hi, Flix. So we're just looking to see, what does everybody think about Jim Carrey? Do you guys think he is a clone? Now, as a clone scientist, as one of my aspects, I believe that this is an original Jim Carrey. So the difference that I noticed was that his voice tones were different, but that was due to a pattern of breathing that was different. Okay, so I believe that's due to his breath work. So I think he's again putting on another character, and he's just trying to get himself back into the medium more. So he's deliberately being different, but this doesn't mean that I think his eyes look the same. I think it's just on the different pictures. His eye color looks pretty much the same on all the images I looked at. But what I do think is he has been tampered with. I think he's had mind wipes. So I don't think his mind is the same, because before he went quiet, he was very public on some of the nighttime TV shows. You know, you see him doing that symbol and questioning it out totally. He and then he kind of became a recluse. He went into his artwork and things like that, because didn't somebody close to him get killed off potentially? Somebody died. So I think he's had a few warnings. I think he's even had a few mind wipes. But I believe this is still the real Jim Carrey. But what's different is his behavior is slightly different, because I think he's been traumatized. His voice pattern is slightly different because I think his breath work has changed. Yeah. So the personality has changed, and that can happen with trauma. I'm getting a warning coming in about this right now, but I do still believe it's him. Yeah, filming the Man in the Moon definitely changed him because he wouldn't break character that whole time. And his, and he was, um, but yeah, but I believe this is the same Jim Carrey. I mean, I could be wrong, but when I look for clones, I'm looking to see markers in their face, and there's subconscious markers that I can pick up around here, right? There's like points in the program that are like in this formation here, and I don't see it on his face. What I do see is the symmetry, that the width of the nose is the same, the width here is the same. This is slightly different, but that happens with lymph. You see, I've got lymph that needs to be drained, so that can happen. I think his mind has been messed with. What do you guys think? Saw a recent interview, he was awake and conscious and totally, totally lit. So either there's possibility that he's been on drugs, he's been traumatized and mind wiped, so he's coming out very quiet, very cautious. Yeah, so people think he's unrecognizable, but because we haven't had a recent photo of him like last week or whatever to compare it to. Corey Feldman's been very public about it, hasn't he, about what happened to him and Corey Haim all those years ago. But nobody listened to him because they tried to discredit him as much as possible. Whereas Jim Carrey had more credibility. But again, they've tried to discredit. So if he's not a clone, then he has a lot of plastic surgery, extreme trauma. I don't even think it's plastic surgery. Do you guys think it's plastic surgery? Because we know he does things like yoga, he does meditation. It's quite possible that he's just been living his best life, that he has been taking care of himself. But I really do, yeah, he retired, he's just been painting. So I think he's been through a trauma process for sure. It could have had Botox maybe, but yeah, unlikely. I don't know. I think he's just well rested. Yeah, let's have a look at a different picture, see if we can get this. So like the eye shape, it's a little bit of hanging on the eye before, so you might have had a little bit of eye alteration done. Yeah, so that's possible. But even the wrinkles on the forehead look the same. So this one you can't really see with this one, but like the ears, slightly different. It might have had a tuck to pull the ear back, but I really don't think so. So is it a clone? I don't believe it's a clone. Yeah, in Ascension, your skin becomes tight. I don't know. I mean, we don't look our age. You're going with a Hollywood makeup artist. Yeah. So what did the Hollywood makeup artist say, Jason? So yeah, but generally when it's a clone, you shouldn't notice it's a clone anyway, because it should be a high quality copy. And for them to slip their soul bite in and out of, we only notice when it's a low quality copy. And like, who would be making low quality clones? They'd be doing it as a psyop of some kind. They'd be doing it to draw our attention. Yeah, that's true. Almost unheard of not to go under the knife in Hollywood. His mannerisms are completely different. So from what I saw, I only saw a small clip of the video when he was talking. He was very softly spoken, but he was very breathy. And it felt like his breathing had changed. So if he's been physically attacked and roughed up, that's possible. Medbed? Possible. Does he seem like the kind of person to undergo a medbed? I don't know. Maybe. But I think it's a lymphatic drainage issue on his face. He's always been off script. Yeah, he's always been uncontrollable. And I think they've tried to control him because he went out of hand. That's what I think it is. So, yeah. So, I personally don't believe it's a clone. I could be wrong. I have a lot more clone experience than most. But with this one, I'm not seeing any usual markers. I'm not noticing the difference in the ears that much. I think his eyes had a slight lift. It's possible that he's had a tuck, but I think he's holding a bit of lymph in his face now. So he needs to be drained. Yeah, so I don't know, guys. Virgo Blue says, don't know anything about clones, but if I met one, I'm sure I'd know just from their energy, mannerisms. Not at all. You wouldn't know. There's millions of me everywhere. And I've seen one of me across the street. So I had a physical reaction because she was across the street in my time space, but she looked exactly like me. I'm not joking. She looked just like Helena from OrphanBlack because she was pale, but she looked like me, but she had the pale hair and very pale skin. And it freaked me out. And my brother-in-law was like, ha ha ha, look at you over there. Right. So yeah, you wouldn't know. There's versions of me everywhere. And I was sighted in Wales quite recently as well. In December, I was sighted in Wales when I was here. So I think he's been traumatized. I think he's been put through the ringer. And I'm looking Mahara, you are so nice. Thank you so much. And oh wait, Breakaway Ray wasn't happy that I said I don't feel in control. I don't feel, and he stopped the show to say, yeah, you're in control. Watch Jim, Andy, and E Great Beyond. Yeah, so we know he's a master of disguise. So how many people think that he was Joe Biden? Filling in at times for Joe Biden. I know that was floating around for a while, wasn't it? That he was wearing face makeup. You know what? I'm getting so much targeting coming right now. There's such a high frequency coming in. This topic does not want to be discussed. So, oh dear. This is a message held, guys. Virgo, were you not tempted to talk to your clone? No, because then I had no idea why there was a clone of me. So, and we were in Paris, in France, at Euro Disney, and I was with my family, and my body was in shock. I saw that woman, and my body just was like, you know, and I felt physically sick and dizzy. So I just thought, no, 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 no. And I just kind of got on the bus when it came and went back to the hotel. I didn't think about going to talk to her, but I've thought about it every day since, obviously. Um, you'd have ran up to her. Well, it's a very uncomfortable experience. You might not have got that close to her because you're not meant to be next to your other versions, right? Yeah, probably run in the opposite direction. You're not meant to be. So in Drago's ACO files, they talk about how there's a lab where there's multiple versions of him in the same lab, and he's all different ages. So he's not really clones. Some of it's time displaced as well. There's different versions of him, and some of it's clones, and that's really uncomfortable. And because it kind of short circuits you in a way, so that you have a lot of pain and you don't sleep, and yeah, so you've got no fear. I don't think I'd be that. But since Christy Campbell said that she saw me, like that version of me, Kit Kat and Raylene, like talking telepathically, I've got that image very clear in my mind. And she put some pictures up of when she was a child, and she looked very similar to me. Really similar to me at that age, you know. I think Christy's a little bit older than me. So it's freaking out. But yeah, but generally, like most people who are out and about, like celebrities, yeah, it runs on a soul, but it runs on a piece of like the operator's soul, so the template. So there'll be a drop of my soul in all of my clones. Yeah, some will look like me, some won't, but they'll be running on my operating system, which is my soul bite. Yeah, so they need it, otherwise they can't operate. But when the soul bite starts to come out, an actual galactic soul will try and embody the clone, but it doesn't always take. Hi, Kimberly. So we're talking about Jim Carrey, and we're saying, do we think he's a clone or not? I've got the unpopular opinion of thinking that's just Jim Carrey, and he's a master of disguise, and he needs a bit of lymphatic drainage, and he might have had some eye surgery, and he's been roughed up by the dark elites. His breath work is different, so his voice is different. But I'll put the image up again. You guys let me know what you think. Is it the same person? The hairline is actually quite similar. The lines on the forehead are similar. The brow, you know, the lips, the chin is similar, but I can see there's a bit of lymph stuff there. Yeah, so I don't know, guys. Yeah, I'd like a clone to do all the laundry and stuff. Bizarre and unnatural. I have a very unpopular opinion that half the planet is clones, that we just are. So, but that's because I've been told that my DNA created daffodils. And when Ivan Teller said that, he had no idea that daffodil is the only flower that I've ever liked. Ever. Like if somebody gave me flowers and they weren't daffodils, I'd be disappointed. It's like that. And I've had an obsession with daffodils since I was a child. So, if you've seen him on Living Colour, he definitely was a master of disguise for sure. Yeah, he is. And he even said that Jim Carrey is a disguise. That's not the true him. That's just a persona that he puts on in public. That's not really him. That's not the guy, James or whoever he is, right? Because it's like when you think about everybody who's out and about, nobody's using their real names. Nobody's using their real names. And half the people don't even have the right gender, right? And we think they're one thing, but really they're something else. So, yeah, so I do believe that there are clones of people out there, but we shouldn't notice when the clone is used. And if we do, it's a very poor quality copy. So, whoever's out there cloning like crappy clones, that's like in that movie, is it Multiplicity? Um, the movie, when they're doing a Xerox of a Xerox of a Xerox, and that's how you get the low quality clones. He played Vanilla Ice in a music video. Yeah. So you know what? He's amazing, and I hope he's okay. But the way he was talking, and it was very slow, and it's very breathy, I think he has been traumatized. I think he's been roughed up. I think he's been mind wiped. I think he's been programmed, perhaps. And, he's coming back out at this particular point in time to make a distraction. It's just a distraction. That's all it is. Yeah. So when everything is popular, we need to know that this is a distraction. Okay. So, if it's positive, then great. Enjoy it. If it's negative, dismiss it. Yeah, we don't need any negative distractions in our lives right now. So it's just another loose harvest, a loose fest. Anyway, so I just thought I'd talk about that. So, anyone else got any other comments about Jim Carrey or clones or whatever? So, Alistair, hi, says, I think they put clones in public on purpose to see how everyone reacts. I totally agree. Yeah. The movie where he couldn't lie. Yes. Yeah, that was a good movie. And he was a pure soul. Yeah. Well, he still is a pure soul. I believe that's still him. I just believe he's had a bit of a trauma for the last few years because he went hard and fast. He came out on live TV and was goading them, the darker elites. He was trying to put it out there, and they don't like it. Yeah, so it's getting harder for them to punish people as much now. Wild, wild, yeah. So, but I'm pretty sure somebody in his life died, and that would have been really traumatic for him. And it's likely that happened as a result of him just, putting information out there. Yeah, well, the permission thing is sketchy because permission is taken, but permission is taken in your sleep. It's taken when you're online and you agree to things. Okay. So when you go on random websites and it says, our privacy statement, we never read these things, do we? Somewhere embedded in there is the fact that we are not sovereign, right? We are agreeing to things and stuff like that. So if he bends over and speaks from history, I don't know if he was married, but I think he did have somebody close to him that passed away. Oh yeah, the Demi Moore. Did anybody see Demi Moore? How skinny were her legs? Right? And she's older than me. Like, what the actual fudge? When she came out in Charlie's Angels and she looked that good 15 years ago, people were gobsmacked. And she looks younger than that now? It's insane. She cut off her signatory long hair and looks like the woman in the Matrix in black leather. Yes, she's starting to look like Trinity. Yeah. Somebody commented that they thought she was Michael Jackson. So is she a clone? Is she a clone? I've not had a good look at her pictures. I'm getting a lot of pressure coming in as I talk about this. I'm getting warned off it. We do sign our rights away subconsciously. Yeah. That's why we need to make those statements every now and then of like, I do not consent. I do not consent. I cancel all contracts that are not in my highest alignment. Yeah, we need to do that. When you go on my website, on my debrief page, one of the first things in there is a statement, like a declaration to release yourself from secret space program contracts. Yeah. So her face looks very plastic. She looks amazing. I mean, wouldn't it be great if they came out and said, oh, we look this good because of the med beds. Yeah, we've had a complete overhaul. We feel fantastic. We totally recommend it. And we're purchasing 20 and we're putting them out there for everyone for free use. Then that would be amazing and wonderful. And I hope that's what's going to happen. Yeah, so reject all interference and declare sovereignty in all realms. Yes. Well done, Danny. Yeah. So, but yeah, we sign things away without realizing it. Perhaps she's using some of the red stuff they use in Hollywood. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, unfortunately, it's possible. It is possible. Because they're not even hiding things now. It's very out in the open, and nobody's really doing anything though. That's the thing. No one's doing it. We're just kind of either we're querying it or we're ignoring it. Nobody's taking the steps to, I don't know, how do we fight it? Where's our, this is when my Mars altar comes in and she starts saying, where's our light army? Where's the admirals? Why is nobody in charge here? Yeah. It's possible for them to have access to wonder drugs. Possible, yeah. So, I mean, technology on the planet is 200 years ahead of what they allow us to say. Oh, I'm not allowed to say that either. Ooh, let's clear the air. Getting a bit of targeting coming in on this topic. So what movie was she in recently? I haven't seen. Jason, what movie was she in? Jason's my movie guy. He's the guy. So I don't know. But yeah, so I just thought I'd come in and say, from my position as a clone template, would-be clone scientist off planet, documented, that I don't think he is. You know, it's possible. I mean, he might start glitching out, but my left eye's been twitching like a mad woman lately. So people could say that this is a clone and that I'm glitching out, you know? Whenever you watch my videos, my left eye's like giving it havoc. So I'm sure I've been short-circuiting myself recently, especially after that show with Christy Gamble. My gosh, I was a mess. I've been rubbing my eyes a lot out of stress as well, so they just keep running and running. So, the substance. Did anybody see that McDonald's video about the product? This product is delicious. I'm going to have this product for lunch later, so I'm not going to eat it now. Yum, yum. Yeah, it's true. They don't make enough cows. And KFC, we don't have enough chickens, right? We're not breeding enough livestock. It is weird, right? So, pretty good but freaky. It's about clones. Oh, The Substance is the name of the movie? I'm thinking it's about the substance, you know? Like what they're all messing around with. Yeah. So, is anybody totally sworn off the Golden Arches now? I do find myself every now and then thinking, oh, wouldn't that be nice? And I think, that's a program. That's a collective program running in the fields. Yeah. It is. It's programming. So KFC, you know, Big D, whatever. No. Yeah. Recently, I was on this course and there was like a Burger King and there was a McDonald's. And I was thinking, I need to eat something. So I went to Burger King, and I hate Burger King, but they're all the same, aren't they? All the same. And I was at the Chinese supermarket the other day, and I bought some economy burgers. And then they were massive as well. And then I'm cooking these economy burgers, and I'm thinking, I didn't see if they were beef burgers. They were just in this big, like, wholesale pack for £4 for 8 burgers, which is a bit cheap, isn't it? And so yeah, they didn't taste so good. You cook yourself. Well done. Well done. I'm actually cooking pork belly today. Pork belly. And but I've got a client coming in half an hour. So I'm doing a reading for somebody that I met at the Basis conference, which is pretty awesome. So it's probably going to be a super soldier reading, and see what information we can get about their life path and targeting. So that's going to be quite an interesting reading. Yeah. So what did everybody think of the Aralam show last night? Aralam's always spot on. I am in this cyclical journey of reviewing my life. It's so true. So true. You're doing green chili. Green hot chili, like a Thai green chili. That's nice. Yeah, I love Thailand, but I'm not a big fan of Thai food, apart from their pork belly with rice and sweet chili sauce and cucumber. Oh, it's dead good. So yeah, I did have some Chinese food last night as well. So, because after I do an event, I usually have cash on me, and I think, you know what, I'm going to treat myself because I worked hard on my event. So I did that after the retreat last night. Hi Daisy, how you doing? So we were talking about Jim Carrey and whether we think he's a clone or not, and we've got mixed opinions on that. So personally, from my experience as identifying clones, tuning into clones, I don't believe he is, but that's just my personal point of view. So it'd be interesting to see what everybody else thinks. I do think it's a big distraction for sure, because that's the name of the game now. Oh, as I say that, oh gosh, it's like they're hitting a button, like smacking me on the head every time I say something naughty. Oh, thanks, Daisy. I'm sure you're very pretty too. And so I'm heading off now. Yeah, I love Asian food too. I love all things Asian. And I'm very Asian. I'm a little Japanese woman, little Chinese woman, basically. There's clones of me in China and Korea and everywhere that bleeds through, to all the things I like. And anyway, yeah, so 2 3 minutes and then I'll be leaving you guys. So it is a distraction, I agree. Hey Hope Woody, how are you doing? So we're leaving in a couple of minutes. We were just talking about clones and what we think about clone narratives. So generally you shouldn't notice clones in general population unless you start to notice that they all look like me, just different heights. Then yes, they are generally clones in general population because it's the OrphanBlack program. um but celebrities all have clones, I believe, but they should be better quality so you don't notice. Yeah, and there's definitely clones. Oh, I'm going to get it for talking about this one. It's an underground facility in Europe that's full of clones where the dark elites go and have their fun time. And that comes back to the Britney Spears story and the, what's his name? Stephen Hawking's story under Europe. Yeah. So I'm going to pay for that one. So I'm going to get it for that one. Everything is a distraction at this point. Very good, very good. You're connected to Asia as well, Danny. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Yep. I was talking to Miles from Basis before. He phoned me very excitedly, just come back from a site where there was a windmill, and he and Maria Wheatley were doing measurements on electronic signals or something there, and it was like something's going down there. So I was tracking the ley lines to see how close it was to the St. Michael's ley line. Not that far off, but it's likely that it's a portal site. You're hoping to meet a clone one day just to observe them closely. No, my mind just said look in a mirror. My mind is so naughty right now, and it says things to me all the time, and I'm like, shut up. Bit of DID there going on. Rope-a-dope. What does that mean? What's that in reference to? Anyway. Oh, Donald. Oh, I don't know. So today I was doing a bit of discovery work because I'm starting to write a book. I'm starting. Doesn't mean I'm going to finish it. But have you noticed the Breakaway Ray doesn't watch videos on SSP? He only reads books on SSP, right? So he's read Archimes, he's read John Whitberg's, he's read Tony Rodriguez. That's where he gets all his information from books. He won't watch videos, right? And so I've got so much going on. A few people have said to me, you need to start writing your book now. And I'm like, okay. So today I was listening to Michael Aquino. So listening to his voice to do a voice analysis to see if I had a reaction. So that's something I'm working on at the moment. So yeah, so there's certain people involved in certain covert programs, and if I was in that program, I would probably have heard their voice. So I'm looking at voice pattern analysis. That's something else that I'm very good at. Interesting. So I'll talk more about that another time. And look here and get hit with that boxing. Yeah, something's like coming at me. It's just my handlers saying, hey, take it easy. Don't be sharing disclosure. Right, I'm going, I'm cooking, and I've got a client coming up soon, but I may come back on later. Oh yes. Yep. Yeah, I didn't have the reaction I was expecting to that person's voice. I didn't, but I did start to get a memory come in. So there's definitely a connection there. But it definitely wasn't the reaction I was expecting. So you never know. I mean, there's lots of different programs. We all have different roles in these programs. So a version of me was obviously there, wherever he was. So I'm not entirely sure which program right now. But yeah. The imprint wasn't 100% negative. The imprint was programmed. So that's what I'm looking into. I'm looking into voice pattern analysis, facial analysis, things like that. If you were going to write some books, good for you. Well, last year I was trying to write books about the violet flame, and I still do plan on writing a book about the violet flame. But this year last year after the December conference, I started to write a presentation about Anchorhaven, since Drago announced to the world that that was actually my code name in the programs. And I'm looking at him on stage like, what the actual, I thought that was just a name that came to me organically. So I have started to lay out a bit of my timeline, which obviously is not linear. Because like Aralam said, just because Aralam said you go on this cyclical journey of, of having a look through the past and making things fit in. So it's like I've got this, I don't know, I just keep going round and round in circles. It's not even like the Unalom where I'm progressing. I'm just going round in circles on my journey. But yes, so I'm going to put something out there soon. I'm going to talk to Krista Campbell and another good author I know and get some advice. We will see. I can't promise it'll make any sense, but it will be a multi-volume series because I'm still working on it. So I have so much information just from 2025 up until now that I could fill 35 chapters. Right, which is a bit much. So we'll see what comes out. We'll see what happens. Okay, take care, everyone. I might be back on later on, probably quite late. But love you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for talking about clones with me. I love it. It's one of my favorite topics to talk about. My next favorite topic is stargates. I love talking about stargates. So I'll catch you all later. Bye.